Well, it sure was nice to get a little sunshine to return today after a gloomy start. We made it to around 40 degrees. That's not going to continue into the weekend, though. We're tracking a lot of weather with some snow moving in on Saturday and some very cold air next week. By mid to late next week, we could be looking at highs in the single digits with overnight lows around 10 to 20 degrees below zero again. All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for clicking on to tonight's Weather Extra. The storm system that's moving in tomorrow, it's not your classic nor'easter or anything like that. What we're tracking tomorrow is what we call an inverted trough. It's basically a little wind shift line, which is known for dumping locally heavy amounts of snow across the region. The big question is, where does that set up? Does it set up over southern Maine, central Maine, mid-coast Maine? I think it's going to set up over southern Maine. And another complicating factor will be the air temperatures. Temps should be slightly above the freezing mark, so we'll have to see how much snow we can accumulate. Some rain should mix in at the coastline as well. Hey, one step at a time. We have our area of low pressure in its infant stages right here, moving through the Ohio Valley. In fact, let's put it on there, right in here. Remember, winds, they rotate counterclockwise around low pressure. As this little guy encounters the warmer ocean waters off the New England coast, it's going to strengthen rapidly as it passes southeast of Maine during the course of the afternoon and nighttime hours tomorrow. Now, it's inverted trough, or its little trailing appendage, will be the focus for what should be some locally heavier bands of precipitation. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there it is right there. It's just a little wind shift line. And basically what happens is we get the heavier precipitation that should be drawing down colder air from aloft. So I wouldn't be shocked if we start off with some rain, especially at the coastline, and then change over to some wet snow. The big question is, how much can we accumulate with some wet surfaces and, again, temps slightly above freezing. I'm up for a challenge today. We'll see what we can do here. Hey, this is nighttime on Saturday, 9 o'clock or so. This disturbance will be moving out, so it's fairly quick hitter. And our Arctic front moves through on Sunday night. That may bring a snow shower or snow squall. More importantly, it will introduce some very cold air for next week. It's going to get windy again on Monday. You'll feel that with wind chills in the teens again. All right, this is what goes into a forecast. We talked a little bit about this with the last storm system. Remember the last storm system? It was about 5 degrees below zero and snowing, very unique, and probably the coldest snowstorm in at least in recent memory around here. That was the last big snowstorm. What makes this one entirely different, it's going to be snowing with an air temperature in the lower to mid-30s. So we'll have to see how much of this can accumulate. What you're looking here at is liquid equivalent. Basically, if you were to take the snow, melt it down, this is a forecast model projecting what that would be. This was the half-inch line, a half an inch of liquid falling from the sky. Again, this is not snow. It's a half an inch of liquid. You see right in there, that where the blue meets the green. With a typical 10-to-1 ratio, that would be about 5 inches of snow. Of course, with the last snowstorm, it was a 20-to-1 ratio, and that would be, actually, that's about where it was, 10 to 11 inches of snow, and that's actually what we got here in Portland. Regardless, notice there's a little bullseye right there, and these forecast models are in remarkable agreement as far as the placement of how this is going to play out. This is the GFS model run this morning, initialized at 7 o'clock this morning. There's the bullseye right there, that darker shade of blue. That little line is the 3/4 inch line, which would mean in a 10-to-1 ratio, that would be about 7 or 8 inches of snow. Now, I think it's going to be slightly lower than that. We're going to see some rain mixing in at the coastline, and that should hold our snowfall totals down a little bit. Inland areas, notice lighter amounts, and there's that bullseye right there. This is run off the Canadian model. More of the same. This is your 3/4 inch line. That's your half-inch line right in there. So I think we're solid for a good 3 to 6 inches of snow, but there could be some locally higher amounts if some heavier bands set up. And if you believe the European model, some locally heavier bands will set up. Look at this one right there. This is the European model initialized at 7 o'clock this morning. See that little pink color right there? That's the 1-inch line. So basically that would be about 10 inches of snow in a 10-to-1 ratio. But again, some rain should be mixing in at the coastline. Inland areas stand the best chance for staying mostly snow. But even there, temps may actually be a little bit above freezing. Should be an adventure forecasting this as we head into the day tomorrow. So just urge folks to stay tuned as we get a little bit closer. Here's the best estimate. This is run off the RPM model. 7 o'clock tomorrow. We're seeing some thickening clouds, of course. Clouds will be increasing overnight. I think we're starting with just cloudy skies early in the day, but the precip's not that far behind. It should start off light, though. By 9 o'clock in the morning, notice some rain developing at the coastline and some inland snow, and the temperatures are marginal. They're in the mid-30s for many towns, or closer to the lower 30s or closer to the freezing mark inland. Now, this will be an interesting part of the day, right around 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. What we're seeing here is some heavier precipitation moving in as that inverted trough really establishes itself somewhere either over southern Maine, somewhere either over mid-coast Maine, or heading up into central Maine there. We're going to watch where that sets up because that will determine, of course, where we're going to get the heavier bands of snow. But basically, when the heavier precipitation arrives, we're going to see that draw down some colder air from aloft. So even coastal areas may see that change over to snow very quickly, and the snow may add up very quickly in some of these heavier bands. But again, regardless, it looks like the heavier snowfall accumulations will be just inland. The farther inland you go, back through the mountains, you're just going to get lighter amounts of snow there. Again, it moves out by 9, 10 o'clock with some snow lingering through the mountains. I think some sun's going to return on Sunday. During the morning, will be brightest during the morning with some more clouds in the afternoon. And notice that little feature right there? That's the cold front we just outlined. That will be moving through on Sunday night. It's about 8 o'clock or so. So don't be surprised if you get some snow showers or snow squalls on Sunday. The wind will be picking up behind that. And Monday actually looks to be a pretty windy day with partly cloudy skies. Winds could occasionally gust probably 20 to 30 miles per hour. So wind chills, air temps won't be too bad. Wind chills will probably be in the lower teens for most towns and colder in the mountains. I don't know if you're going skiing or snowboarding. It's going to be colder, of course, in the mountains on Monday due to those stronger winds. Okay, snowfall accumulations. Here's my best stab here. Again, these features are very difficult to forecast. I think there's going to be a little bullseye of about 3 to 6 inches here in southern portions of Maine, almost up to about central Maine. Probably about 10 to 20 miles away from the coastline. Here at the immediate coast, we'll probably see some rain mixing in, and that rain's going to hold our snowfall totals down there. If we don't see the rain mix in, well, yeah, we'll have to up that quite a bit. But the reason I included a little plus there, because these features are known to dump some very heavy snow in a very short period of time. Just I can remember a few. We had that one last year. Okay, we had a forecast out for 3 to 6 inches of snow, and then we only got about 1 inch of snow. So we busted that one with the inverted trough, or Norland trough, actually setting up out in the ocean. It's set up about 20 miles offshore. But I can remember one very clearly in 2007. I had a forecast out for 3 to 6 inches of snow, and it just wouldn't stop snowing. The thing just established itself right in here, and I can remember Westbrook coming in with about 7 or 8 inches of snow when we had only a forecast out for 1 to 3. So should be fun to forecast this one tomorrow. Again, what makes this different is the air temps will be above freezing for many towns, and the snow may have a hard time accumulating, and we're going to see some rain at the coastline. So lighter amounts the farther north you go, about 2 to 5, and again, there should be some rain down in York County, southern York County as well. If we don't, of course, we'll have to update that, but 2 to 5 inches there, and lighter amounts south where more rain is expected, and lighter amounts to the north, we're just going to get lighter precipitation. Okay, now to the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we have our wet snow moving in, some rain at the coastline. There it is, 35 for a high temperature. Lower 30s on Sunday. That front moves through on Sunday night, may bring a snow shower, snow squall. It's going to get windy on Monday. High temps that day will be in the upper 20s. Wind chills will be in the teens. And check out Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A colder air moves in. Highs will be around 10 degrees with overnight lows around 10 below. And that's at the coastline. Many inland towns could approach 20 degrees below zero during this period. Now, the crazy part about this cold shot, it actually looks colder a week from this Monday. So we could go through the weekend. There may be a storm at some point late Friday or more so Saturday. But a week from this upcoming Monday, it may even be colder than the shot you see right there. So it looks like we're headed for a couple of weeks here with very cold air moving in, several shots for snow. This weather pattern is very favorable for snowstorms, so we'll have to see what happens in the near term. Stay tuned to the forecast tomorrow. Tricky forecast, but it looks like many towns should pick up several inches of snow with, again, some rain possible at the coastline as well. That's the way things look. I'll be looking at some new information coming in tonight at 10 o'clock or so of updates on News 13 at 11. We'll see you then. Have a nice night.